Welcome, race fans, to Friday Night Flights, proudly brought to you by Greg McClendon and the boys over at Pie 5 Pizza. Check them out, pie5.com. Pie 5 Pizza and Greg McClendon making things happen out here on our Friday Night Flight race. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a barn burner out here tonight. This is Indianapolis. The boys have been running out here at Indianapolis all week long on this 2.5-mile track, but they've been running rough. Monday and Tuesday, very rough for our racers, having 6 cautions on Monday, 7 out here on Tuesday. Drivers are in the big boy toys tonight, the Ford Fusion, Toyota Camry, and the Chevy SS. Let's see how they're doing down there on that track as we look at our qualifying order out there on that grid. We are having some grid issues, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for that. James Brown sitting in 8th. Ronald Hartfield, Everett Lane up there in 4th. Pat Richey in 14th. I apologize for the software issues. It's kind of odd. We've got Greg McClendon back there in 12th. John Pansula sitting in 6th position. Joel Guy in the rear of the field in position 20. Jason Russo joining us tonight in position 17. David Casey is sitting in 15th. Paul Pellizier in 5th position. Ivan Garcia back in 16th. Matt Quick in 2nd. Danny Rudy in 21st. Freeman Kelly sitting in 13th. Dustin Markham in 3rd. Donald Stewart and Mark Bowes out here tonight. Jay Dargett, Mark Jackson taking that qualifying #1 spot. Big shout out there to Mark Jackson. Jack Watts sitting back in 7th position. Again, I do apologize for the software issues. Hopefully, the software will come alive and we'll get it all taken care of as the night goes through. Drivers are set out to do 125 laps out here tonight at Indianapolis. Mark Jackson out there on that front line. Big shout out there to Mark Jackson. Indianapolis proven to give the boys a challenge this week. Talking to Joel last night, Joel, kidding around, told me that we could expect possibly up to 12 cautions tonight. Certainly do not want to see 12 cautions. Mark Jackson out there on that front line. We are working on getting the software issues fixed, ladies and gentlemen. Getting ready to go green. Jason Russo in 10th position as we do kick her off here for 125 laps. Mark Jackson out there on that front line. Matthew Quick going to give Mark Jackson quite the run out here tonight. Dustin Markham as well. Now the problem the drivers have been having, just bottom line, the wall. The wall has been jumping up and grabbing these drivers. Dustin Markham, Matthew Quick. Drivers are having to let off. You can hear those engines taper down. Everett Lane sitting in 4th place position. Paul Pellizier sitting back in 5th. Big shout out there to Paul Pellizier driving the Ford Fusion tonight in the number 31. It appears we have got those software issues fixed. Yay, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love the technology. Actually, I hate technology, but not as much as some of these drivers out here have hated running out here at Indianapolis this week. Paul Pellizier with a good view of Matthew Quick and Everett Lane, riding it out for third and fourth. This is Indianapolis. This is a 2.5 mile track. We're watching Paul sliding up a little bit there. No contact with the 89, but Paul Pellizier definitely having to let out of it. Matthew Quick sitting in fourth position. Everett Lane sitting in third. Lap 2 of 125. So far, so good. Jack Watts riding along in seventh position. Donald Stewart in the number 78, hot on his heels, along with James Brown sitting in ninth position. Freeman Kelly off in 10th position. Ronald Hartfeld sitting in 11th. Dave Acacia, big shout out there to Dave Acacia. Now those commercials that you did see at the beginning of tonight's broadcast, along with the commercial you will see at the midway point, those were brought to you by Dave Acacia. Been working all day to update our latest commercials. Jason Russo in the number 14, our Tuesday night sponsor in position 13th. Ivan Garcia, number 72, sitting in number 14 spot. Greg McClendon, our sponsor for the night, sitting in position 15th. Jay Dargett, position 16. Danny Rudy off in position 17. Joel Guy in the rear of the field, position 1-8. There is Danny Rudy with a picture of his lovely granddaughter on the hood of his snowflake car. Very close contact with that wall. Did you see that wall jump down and bite? Danny Rudy, no contact, but he was nipping at his heels, I tell you what. Our race leader, Mark Jackson, out there by a half a click in front of Dustin Markham. Everett Lane in position 3. Everett Lane very close to Dustin Markham. No contact, though. The house is packed out here, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at those grandstands. Hopefully, we're going to see some green flag racing out here tonight. Coming out of pit road, these drivers will have to use the access road. Indianapolis, a little bit different from a couple of other tracks. Access road included. Caution is out.
Tell me what you got.
Caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. As we have contact, I do believe that is James Brown. We're going to take a look at to see what exactly happened with James Brown. Coming up around that corner. Boom, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That wall came out, and it just thoroughly attacked James Brown. As we watch it in slow-mo, James Brown sliding up, down into 77, 21, 15, 20, number 14. 5 drivers involved in tonight's first caution. One more time as we look at it from our helicopter mode. James Brown up, smack, squish, tough break there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers caught up in the first caution of the night. James Brown was on a very good move right there as he was coming around the number 77. Possibly pushing it just a little bit too hard. 21 tight in tow. Up around the corner and into the wall. Drivers do have one backup vehicle out here. Got a feeling a few of these drivers are going to be needing that backup vehicle. Mark Jackson still in first place, leading 6 laps. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer on the KM8 TV chat. And a big hello to Becky Whitmer underneath our first caution on lap 6. Drivers making their way into pit lane. Mark Jackson, Dustin Markham, Everett Lane. High hopes out here tonight for Mark Jackson. Mark actually very good at some of these intermediate tracks. Out there in that front line. Ticket is to stay out there on that front line. Mark Jackson making his way out of pit row. Now this is the access road we were talking about. When these drivers are leaving pit row, they have got to stay down onto that access road. Takes a little bit of concentration. Mark Jackson, first driver out of pit row. How about it, Mark Jackson? You got a copy.
Copy.
Copy. How you doing, Mark?
So far, so good. Man, track's feeling good tonight.
Well, I tell you what, Monday we had, 7, 6, and Tuesday we had 6 or 7. What are you thinking about tonight? We're early on, lap 7, first caution of the night. 118 laps to go. A lot of time to get a lot of cautions in. What do you think?
Well, this track is really difficult to drive. If you miss your line, 1 foot outside that line, 1 or 2 feet, it can really, you can ruin your night by yourself, and you can ruin somebody else's night if you're side by side. It's tough place to be in these cup cars side by side making through corners. So I think it'll space out. I think we'll have a good long run, get some green flag in, and hopefully we can bring this over the top paint Chevrolet home for a victory tonight. We're going to give her hell.
All right, we are certainly hoping to do that. Real quick, tell us all about Over the Top.
Over the Top paints and designs. All your graphics needs on iRacing and anything else you might like. We got some exciting things coming up. Also want to give a big thanks to KMA Racing and to Richie B's Pizza, because without those guys, you guys, we wouldn't be on the tracks today. So thank you all for everything you do, and big thanks to John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints for putting this number 3 Chevrolet looking good. And just going to hang in here and see how this thing goes. We're looking for some green flag.
All righty, good luck to you. Mark Jackson out there on that front line. Matthew Quick sitting in second position.
Yo.
How about it, Matthew Quick? You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, what are you thinking about your race so far?
I'm just trying to survive. I'm super tight. I push everywhere. I don't know how I came out second, but yeah, I'm just gonna just kind of drive around for a couple laps. Hopefully, I didn't swing too hard to the left.
Well, I tell you what, talking about swinging, now we've heard a lot of complaints about that wall jumping out and trying to run into the pathway of the drivers. How are you in the wall getting along tonight?
I nipped it a little bit coming out of 3 already, but mainly it's just all that's driver error to me. So I you gotta take it nice and easy because everybody's trying to run qualifying laps. I think tires will become a big thing. if we get a long green flag run, I'm sure I'm going to get about 2 or 3 seconds behind everybody, but I think after a while I'll catch them. It's just really hard to pass here, so I understand you want to try to, take the turns as fast as you can, but you'll tear up those tires.
All righty, copy that, and good luck to you, Matthew Quick.
Thanks.
All right, all about tire wear, all about control. Mark Jackson, Matthew Quick, Everett Lane sitting in third position. Lap 9 of 125 underneath our first caution of the night. Talking with Mark Jackson. Big shout out there to John Hedrick, Over the Top Paints and Designs. Check him out on Facebook at the Paint Shop. John Hedrick, our sponsor of our upcoming Santadega, Saturday, December 23rd. 4th annual Santadega, one of our highly anticipated races of the year. Live broadcast brought to you by KMA TV. Next week, though, we're going to take the boys down to Homestead. Surely there'll be some good racing out there at Homestead. Huge track, plenty of room to go, 5 wide. A lot of fun. Homestead, Miami. Going to be heading south where it's warm, I tell you what. Mark Jackson getting ready to take us back to, hopefully, some green flag racing. Would love to see these drivers using this access road for some green flag pit stops out here at Indianapolis. Big shout out there to Greg McClendon and Pi 5, our sponsor for our Friday Night Flight Series. Side by side, Ronald Hartfield and Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart getting a run down onto that inside. Ronald Hartfield having to back her down a little bit. Ivan Garcia is sitting in position 6th. At this point in time, pretty much best off staying single file. No reason to really push your luck. Ivan Garcia putting no pressure on Ronald Hartfield. 0-1 of John Pansula. Flying by Ivan Garcia with the number 31, Paul Pellizier, tight in tow. Paul Pellizier with Kicking Asphalt out here running along with Dave Acacia and Jason Russo. Paul Pellizier with Kicking Asphalt. Big shout out there to the boys over at KA. Jay Dargett in the number 22 flying past Ivan. Ivan might be having a few problems out here, seemingly a little bit slower than the primary pack. James Brown in the number 10, or number 00. James O.O. Brown in the 00. Love that. Drivers starting to heat it up near the rear of the field with Dave Acacia and the number 88 of Dustin Markham and the number 14 of Jason Russo. Flying around Ivan Garcia. Ivan Garcia definitely well below that pace. Dave Acacia hitting the apron. Dave's in trouble. Comes back, saves it up. Going to cost him some time as the 21 of Freeman Kelly takes advantage of that situation, trying to work his way around Dave Acacia. Number 14, Jason Russo, tight in tow. Side by side with Freeman and Jason. Lap 12 of 125. Danny Rudy in the number 13. Little scrape on the wall. Saw some sparks flying off the rear quarter panel of Danny Rudy. Ivan Garcia back up to speed with Danny Rudy. Joel Guy near the rear of the field in position 17th. Greg McClendon, our sponsor for the night, back in position 18. Everett Lane has taken over that lead from Mark Jackson. About a half a second up on Mark Jackson. Everett Lane running with Fast Lane. Got to be fast out here at Indianapolis. Right now, our three fastest drivers are Everett, Mark, and Donald Stewart. Drivers do seem to be settling down into a much needed, easier pace. Everett, Mark, Donald, and Paul are top four. In-car action with Donald Stewart, keeping pace with Mark Jackson. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 2.5 mile speedway, lap 15 of 125. One lead change out here as Everett has taken over that lead from Mark Jackson. James Brown in the number 9 tonight. Good view of Dustin Markham. Whoa, Dustin Markham with a wide swing. Near contact with that wall. Did you see that wall jump out and try to attack Dustin Markham? Number 20 of Dave Acacia. A little contact there with that Toyota Camry. Jay Dargett tight in tow. Jason Russo showing some pretty severe front end damage on his Chevy SS. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor with Pro Automotive. Pretty decent crinkle up there on the number 14, but still fast enough to come around the number 22 of Jay Dargett. Jay Dargett back down to that inside lane, trying to gain momentum, but not going to quite happen. Freeman Kelly in the number 21 Chevy SS. 9.7 seconds back off of our race leader. Drivers are running lap times of 50s, 51.176. Ivan Garcia a little bit slower with a 51.814. Ivan sitting back in position 14. Looking at it from our camera angle, you can already see how the field has been split. Top four drivers a little bit closer. Whoa, we've got a spinner out there. That is Donald Stewart going for a spin. A little bit too much on that accelerator, but able to save it. Donald Stewart down that access road. Possibly going to make his way out onto that track, but he may need to head off there into pit road to get a repair. Definitely will be needing a repair on the number 78 of Donald Stewart. Severe left side damage. Ronald Hartfeld in the number 15th and 9th. Trying to make his way up to David Casey in the number 20. Lap 20 of 125. Dustin Markham in the number 88 started out third, dropping to 6th position. Matthew Quick started out in second, currently is in 5th. And Matthew Quick, live camera angle as the number 89. What a ride for the number 89. Caution will not fly. Tough break for Matthew Quick. Stalled out on the apron. Back into pit road. Tough break there for Matthew Quick. No caution did fly. That's a plus. We were on live camera with Matthew Quick when that happened. Everett Lane started 4th, working his way up to position 2. John Pansula in 3rd. Paul Pellizier sitting back in 4th. Paul Pellizier looking to be a little bit of damage up on the rear end of his Ford Fusion. Pretty severe damage on the number 31 of Paul Pellizier. Mark Jackson regaining that lead over Everett Lane. Mark Jackson, Everett Lane, John Pansula, Paul Pellizier, Dustin Markham, our top 5 in our Friday Night Flight Series here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Joel Guy in the number 91 Fanatec has fallen to 2 laps down. Donald Stewart 1 lap down. Greg McClendon on that lead lap, but last driver on that lead lap. 32 seconds back off of our race leader. Greg McClendon in pit row. Severe damage on the number 40 Chevy SS by Greg McClendon as he makes his way down pit row tonight. Pretty good amount of left side damage on that Chevy SS. Jay Dargett in the number 22, sitting in 11th position. $14.4 off that lead pack. Freeman Kelly in the number 21, 12.4 back. Jason Russo, 11 back, still working that Chevy SS with a beat-up front end. Lap 25 of 125 as Jason Russo comes up to the rear end of the number 91 of Joel Guy. Jason Russo easily making his way around the number 91. Jack Watts sitting in 6th position, 11.1 back. About 2.5 seconds off of 5th place, Dave Acacia. Dave Acacia driving the Toyota Camry tonight. Paul Pellizier still up in 4th. John Pansula 3rd. Everett Lane 2nd. Mark Jackson out there on that front line. Going to be a long one out here tonight. 125 laps of Indianapolis running 52nd lap times. Driver's going to need a lot of patience and a lot of endurance. But this field is already getting spread out as we look at our top two. Mark Jackson, Everett Lane. John Pansula sitting in 3rd. Paul Pellizier, Dave Acacia, 4th and 5th. A lot of distance between 1st through 5th position. Jason Russo sitting in 6th. Jack Watts, a little bit tighter racing here from 6th position on back. Jason Russo leading this small pack. James Brown working his way around the number 91 lap traffic of Joel Guy. James Brown, Jack Watts side by side. Now James Brown is 5 laps down. Jack Watts heading off into pit row, possibly for a green flag pit stop, along with Jay Dargett. Green flag pit stops beginning to happen out here at Indianapolis. Jack Watts finding his pit stop. Having a little bit of a problem with Jack getting in there. Jay Dargett, Jack Watts. Jack possibly receiving a penalty. Donald Stewart in the number 78 lap traffic working his way around our race leader, Mark Jackson. Number 24 of Everett Lane. Very close to Mark Jackson. Ronald Hartfield and Freeman Kelly battling it out for position 6th and 7th. Tires are going to be critical out here at Indianapolis. No brakes needed, but definitely a lot of throttle control. Donald Stewart falling to 49 seconds back, just about ready to get lapped. Paul Pellizier, our first driver, 1 lap down, but Paul has pitted. That is critical information. Mark Jackson making his way into pit row. Green flag pit stop for Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson in and out of pit row very quickly. But that will put Everett Lane out there on that front line. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we are watching these drivers race their way around this 2.5 mile speedway, I want to talk to you a little bit about safe driving. As you know, KMA is a huge supporter of PAD, and another huge supporter of PAD is MaxMount. Alan Larson and James Brown with Cora. They have worked out a great deal with MaxMount to help you give the gift of safe driving to your loved ones or to yourself. If you order from the MaxMount website from now to December 26th, and you use the promo code CORA10, CORA10, you will receive a 10% discount, and to even sweeten that deal, folks, how about we throw in free shipping and handling? Now, what this little critter is, it'll hold your Galaxy, it'll hold your Samsung, it'll hold your iPad, it'll hold your iPhone. Mountable up to the dashboard of your car. Got a textured surface? No problem. MaxMount will be the maximum mount for your devices so that you can keep both hands on the wheel. And again, free shipping and handling. Go to maxmount.com. Enter CORA10, CORA10 for a 10% discount. David Casey at Jason Russo in and out of pit row on lap 33 of 125. Now we'll put Dustin Markham out there on that front line. Mark Jackson back into position 2. Dustin Markham leading his first lap of the night. Only 4 lead changes out here between Dustin Markham, Mark Jackson, and Everett Lane. Everett Lane sitting in 4th position, 15 seconds back off of Dustin Markham. John Pansula sitting back in 5th position. Side-by-side action with Jason Russo and the number 15 of Ronald Hartfelt. A lot of damage out there on the number 14 of Jason Russo. Coming up into some heavy traffic with Ronald Hartfelt. Chasing down Jason Russo, working their way around number 13. 13 smacking that wall a little bit. Danny Rudy coming up on Dave Acacia. Dave Acacia is sitting in 7th position. Dave Acacia keeping a very close eye on his rear view mirror, knowing that Jason Russo is hot on his tail. David Casey in the Toyota Camry. A lot of damage out there on the front end of that number 20. Mark Jackson getting very back close to the leader. Dustin Markham up to 1 second. Mark Jackson, the man on the move tonight. Leading 22 laps. Dustin Markham leading 4. Everett Lane leading 11. Lap 37 of 125. Friday Night Flights brought to you by Greg McClendon and Pie 5 Pizza. Very close. Dustin Markham very close onto that wall, giving Mark Jackson the run he needs. And here goes Mark Jackson. Inside door is open, backing it off. Very, very close. Mark Jackson winding up, gearing up, going to try it one more time. Big run on the inside. Taking that lead back from Dustin Markham one more time. Mark Jackson out there, leading lap 38 of 125. Everett Lane has fallen to 8 seconds back. Mark Jackson, Dustin Markham coming up on lap traffic. Mark Jackson running a lap of a 51.197, leading 23 laps. Big run on the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy 1 lap down. Right side damage on the front end of Joel Guy. A little bit of a crinkle up there on the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy making his way into pit row for a green flag pit stop on lap 39 of 125. Indianapolis Motor Speedway taking its toll. But I tell you what, only one caution on lap early on. One caution in 40 laps of racing. Driver's doing actually a pretty good job in my opinion. Joel Guy trying to get a little bit of damage fixed as he sits there into pit row. Mark Jackson out there on that front line. Jason Russo, number 14, still motivating around with that front end damage coming up on David Casey, trying to take over 6th position. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. Big shout out there to Pro Automotive. Paul Pellizier in 4th position, sitting at about 12 seconds off of our race leader, 11.8 and gaining. John Pansula sitting in 3rd place. Everett Lane in second. Mark Jackson in first. Mark Jackson dominating out here tonight at Indy. Danny Rudy, our first driver, 1 lap down, sitting in position 12. Ivan Garcia sitting at 49 seconds back. Dustin Markham sitting off in 10th. Dustin Markham on that access road, coming out of pit row. Lap 43 of 125, 82 to go. So far, so good. Joining me in the booth, we were talking about Max Mount earlier and Cora. We've got the man himself, Alan Larson. How you doing, Alan?
We're doing all right there, Scott. How you doing this evening?
Doing good. You know what? I was really worried, Alan, about how tonight was going to go because Monday we had 7 cautions, I believe, or 6, and on Tuesday we had the opposite of that, 6 or 7. But so far, Alan, you know, the boys are behaving out here at Indy. But I tell you what, you know, that wall, it keeps jumping out and jumping in front of these vehicles. A lot of right side damage on the majority of these drivers out here. What do you think?
Yeah, before I was just talking to James a little bit. He said he had slapped the wall a couple times. He's a couple laps down, not having the night that he wanted. But, yeah, it's only 1 caution so far. I'm amazed.
Well, and I tell you what is extra amazing about it is we were out here testing the fixed setup, the iRacing fixed setup, and I tell you what, the testers told me, you know, the windshield was filling up with rocks and asphalt. They had to lower the Packers, could just not get it right to appease everybody. So we opened up the dynamics of tonight's race with the setup. These drivers came in, they had about an hour to put their vehicles together, and everybody was really, really good about sharing their setups. Right now, Mark Jackson seems to be the man to beat, leading out 29 laps out here at Indy.
10-4. That Mark Jackson, that number 3, he's always up there being a contender. But the one I'm keeping my eye on there is John Pansula running back there in 3rd place. I wouldn't completely count him out of it either. John's
been running a very good night, and he is only off of Mark Jackson by 5.3, getting ready to take on Everett Lane, battling it up for position 2. So you know a little bit about John Pansula, do you?
Yeah, I know a little bit about him. He's one of our Cora racers.
Doing a pretty good job out here. Anyway, we have seen already green flag pit stops coming in, and that's really cool. But unfortunately, several drivers already laps down. We've only got 10 drivers out here on our lead lap.
Yeah, like you were saying before, that wall is out there.
Now, when you walked in, I had mentioned that we were talking to our fans a little about Cora and that Cora 10 promotional code, but you tell it so much better than I do. Tell our fans about that code and that free shipping and handling deal.
You bet, Scott. Right now, Cora and Max Mount have teamed up to keep your family and friends hands-free and safe by offering a 10% discount when you use the promo code CORA10, CORA10, at their website, www.maxmount.com. That's maxxmount.com. And to sweeten the deal a little easier, we'll even ship it to you free of charge. There will be no shipping fees. So, yeah, just a great gift idea for your friends and family to keep them hands-free, keep them safe.
Now, I understand that you are a long-haul truck driver. Is that correct?
Yeah, I like to prefer myself as a merchandise relocation engineer.
I have never. I drove a truck myself in my early 20s, and I have never. Say that one more time, because I really like that.
I am a merchandise relocation engineer.
Merchandise relocation. And I really like that, but I'd say you guys are the heartbeat of America. But my point was, back to the Max Mount. How has Max Mount helped you out in that big rig you drive?
Well, it sits up there on my dash and holds my phone, and I don't have to mess with my phone while I'm driving. If it rings, all I got to do is reach up and make one swipe to answer the phone. Or, you know, my Bluetooth has a deal in it. I can see who's calling, and my Bluetooth has a deal in it where I can just say answer, and it will automatically answer the phone. I won't have to take my hands off the wheel at all to do that.
Very nice.
But it's really unit.
Now, how secure are these? Not only with the mounting, I mean, there's a reason they're called Max Mount, obviously, but how secure are they with the mounting to the dash, and how securely does it hold your device, and how easy is it for you to get your device out of the Max Mount device?
Oh, it's very easy. All you do, there's two little levers on the side, or two of the pins that hold the phone on one side are spring loaded, so you just pull them back and your phone pops right out. It's real easy, but yet the springs are strong enough to hold it in there securely while it's sitting there too. And yeah, you mentioned it. The suction cup itself is very secure on your dash. It's got a patented polyurethane adhesive that is renewable, and all you got to do to clean it off is run it under a little bit of cold water, and it's right back to new again. And it's really a nifty unit. It's very sturdy, made out of carbonite carbon, the same material that race car bodies are made out of, that carbon fiber.
Really? That sounds like a pretty sturdy device. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, free shipping and handling, a 10% discount. Go to maxmount.com. Type in Cora10, Cora10. Give the gift of safe driving. Now, one more thing I do want to hear about, Alan, before I let you go. I always enjoy hearing about Cora. Now, you guys actually race for cold, hard cash. And to my understanding, last year, you gave away a couple dollars. Tell us about that.
Yeah, our previous season we paid out over $5,000 in purse money. So yeah, we give away a little bit of cash. We're going to be cranking back up here first a couple weeks in January, hopefully, if everything goes right, and get her back under the way again. So the Cora Sunday Money Series will be back.
And what kind of tracks do you run? What kind of vehicles? What is your schedule like?
Right now, we're going to run the super speedways because people are more inclined to race with us on super speedways because they have a chance at winning a lot easier. You know, anybody can win a super speedway race, so we want to keep it like that. Eventually, we might start branching out into track, but right now we're going to run the three NASCAR vehicles, the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup cars there at the super speedways, Daytona and Talladega.
All righty, copy that. Good information right there. I'm going to move you back up. We've got a caution to deal with. Good talking to you, Alan.
All right, take care, Scott. Merry Christmas.
You too, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are underneath our second caution of the night. Not a big one, single car spin out, but I tell you what, that's going to give me time to take a quick commercial break. While these drivers are under caution, I do want to give a full screen commercial out there to my good buddy Greg McClendon, and we'll be right back with you. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our second caution. Drivers doing a pretty darn good job out here. Very impressed with our drivers. Looking at James Brown. Going to get a quick chat in with James Brown. How about it, James Brown? How you doing?
Hi, Scott. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm having a tough night here, Scott.
Well, I tell you what, looking at your profile picture that we just got uploaded, I figured you would say, ow, I feel good.
Oh, I feel good.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear.
Jump back.
Now you fell 5 laps down. I saw you had to disconnect and reconnect. A little bit of server issues right there.
Yeah, I think it was my internet. It glitched or something. Maybe it took a surge. But I love racing with you guys so much, and I set things aside tonight to race with you, so I'm coming back to finish the race.
Well, I tell you what, we appreciate that over here at KMA. Now, we had Alan up here, and Alan was telling us all about Max Mount and all about Cora. Is there any, pardon me, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, actually, we are starting to schedule races for Cora. We're looking at the middle of January, and maybe a couple pre-season type races before then, and just watch for us. The announcements will be made when things are definite.
Now, Alan had said that you guys run a lot of super speedways because you know it's a lot of fun out there. Are you going to branch off into Martinsville, Phoenix, Bristol?
No, and I'll tell you why, Scott. I know a lot of guys. They get tired of the super speedways, but anybody can win. Any night, anytime, any day, anybody can win a super speedway race.
Oftentimes it is a crapshoot, but I tell you what, once you get that speedway in your blood, it's a whole lot of fun.
Indeed it is, sir.
All righty, good luck to you, James Brown.
Thank you, Scott.
James Brown, 13th position. 5 laps down. Everett Lane, our race leader, out here on position 1. Everett!
How you doing tonight, Scotty?
Doing good. How are you, Everett?
I'm doing fine. How you been?
Doing good. I tell you what, we got that freshly uploaded profile picture. Finally, nice to see a picture to the legend. Tell us about your race. Guess what? You're in first place.
Yeah, I got a break there. I was getting a little loose. I actually touched the wall there a little bit, so I figured I'd come in an early pit and came down pit road, and the caution came out. So perfect timing for me.
Well, what's it like out there tonight? Because I tell you what, Monday and Tuesday, it was rough, but we've only had 2 cautions out here on lap 56, 69 to go. Are the drivers respecting the track a little more tonight?
Yeah, you better respect this track because it'll reach up and bite you really quick. You really got to be on your toes out here. It's flat track, fast corners, and you're going to these corners almost 200 mile an hour. You got to hit your points really well, or you'll be tasting the concrete on the outside.
Now, you're up here running with Mark Jackson. We had Pansula up there for quite a while. He's back in 6th. Is Mark Jackson giving you any grief up there? Is he giving you a challenge and a run?
Oh yeah, he's going to be good tonight. He got checked out there. He must have did a 2-tire stop or something because he got a 10-second lead on me on that last pit stop, and I was like, wow, that was pretty good. So we tracked him down, got it down to the 4.5 seconds, and then I decided to quick pit, and we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to get me a front row start, so we'll see what happens here, Scotty.
All right, good luck to you, Everett.
Thank you, Scott.
Everett Lane out there on that front line. Jason Russo back in 5th position. John Pansula sitting in 6th. Jay Dargett in 7th. David Casia has made his way up to 3rd. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. We're going to put you in-car camera here with Jason Russo and still with that crinkled front end. But I tell you what, Jason Russo started 17th, been driving most of the night with a beat-up front end, made his way up to 5th. Maybe everybody ought to get a beat-up front end. What do you think? Seems to be working for my good friend Jay. Pace car is in. And away we go. Lap 56 of 125. Friday Night Flights brought to you by the guys over at Pie 5 Pizza. Jason Russo with a run on the 0-1 of John Pansula. Door is open. Jason Russo walking on in, taking a knock on the rear end of the number 20 of David Casia. Jason Russo, David Casia, both running for Kicking Asphalt, along with Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier back there in 9th. Kevin Scott Nelson not able to join us tonight, but rooting on Jason Russo, David Casia, and Paul Pellizier. Jason Russo up to the rear end of the number 20 of David Casia. Do you pass your teammate? Not quite at the halfway mark. Do you pass your teammate? Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Russo into that wall. Took a bite. Let's back that up. We are still green, ladies and gentlemen. But Jason Russo with a hit. Here we are on replay. John Pansula up into the number 14, or did the 14 come down? Let's take a look at it. John Pansula coming by, looking at that groove mark. Looks like John Pansula might have been in an upward momentum, taking Jason Russo to the wall. That'll be a tough break and a heartbreaker for Jason Russo. Caution is out. One more look. I want to back this up, ladies and gentlemen, in slow speed. Just want to take a look so we can see what happened here. John Pansula up. Man, what a break there for. What a bad break there for the number 14. Taking a little bit of a kicking right there. Bringing out our third caution of the night. Tough break. Ever Lane, Mark Jackson, Ronald Hartfield out there in front. Interesting situation right here. We just did recently have a caution. So now the question is, does Everett Lane risk losing that frontline spot by going in back-to-back cautions? Big shout out there to Michelle McMaster Eisenhower. Hola, amigos and amigas. I don't know how to pronounce that. But nonetheless, a big shout out there to Michelle McMaster Eisenhower. Merry Christmas to Michelle. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson, Ronald Hartfield, David Casia, Jay Dargett in 5th position. John Pansula making his way into pit row. David Casia opting to stay out. Ivan Garcia 1 lap down. Danny Rudy 2 laps down. James Brown 5 laps down. Everett Lane staying out. Mark Jackson into pit row. Interesting. Dustin Markham into pit row. Paul Pellizier into pit row. John Pansula into pit row. Tough break there for John Pansula. John Pansula in the 0-1 working his way out of pit row. Almost to that halfway point. John Pansula on that access road, back up on track. Going to get a chat in with John Pansula. How about it, John? Have you got a copy?
How about it? I got you.
All righty. How you doing tonight?
Well, I was doing okay. I think I went up into Jason there a little bit on the front stretch.
You know, it was really hard to tell, but I think you might have gone up a little bit more than Jason might have gone down. But walk us through that. What happened in car? Did the tires give out? Was there a little bit too much throttle? Talk us through how you went up a little bit.
Well, the green dropped and initially there, and he kind of come down underneath me pretty hard in 1 and 2, and got a good draft on the backstretch. Came out of 4 and got a real good draft on him and went to the inside, and I just didn't realize I was close to him. I saw he had some damage. His hood's all bent up on the right side there. I thought he was a little bit faster than him, and apparently I just got too close to him there, and he was dragging the wall, I guess, according to him. I got to look at the replay, but I'll take the blame for it.
All right, we'll copy that. We're not looking for any blame. But you had mentioned the word draft. Now, when we're driving out here in the big boy cars, the Cup cars, the most powerful cars there is, when two of these powerful vehicles get side by side, they tend to kind of like magnets and suck up on one another, you think?
Yeah, 10-4. I knew I was close, but I had the run on him, and I was just kind of getting that side draft. He told me run the inside going into 1, and that's all I was doing. I just must have just slipped up a little bit there. But the side draft and the nose to tail works pretty good up the front stretch and down the back stretch there.
Now, I'm not sure if you were out here on Monday and Tuesday, but Monday and Tuesday we had 7 and 6 cautions, 3 cautions. We're at the halfway point. Do you think we're nearing the end of our cautions tonight, or do you think the worst is yet to come?
In my opinion, I think everybody's starting to get settled in, and some of the cars are pretty damaged. I think the guys up front there, if they just keep their wits about them and pay attention to what they're doing, like I should have been, and we should be all right up front here. I'm not sure what they're doing in the back, if they're jockeying for positions or not, but if we can just settle in for a while, we should get some good green flag.
Well, I tell you what, brother, don't beat yourself up about that, because I tell you what, it was tighter than a hair in a biscuit. And you know, if you ain't sliding a little bit, you ain't racing, and we do not expect you to just lay down. You got to get out here and fight. This is Indy, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys very much. I just want to do the best job that I can. I think that's probably the first time I actually wrecked somebody since I've been running with you guys.
All righty, copy that. Good luck to you. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
John Pansula in the 0-1. Going to take a quick look at our running order. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson, Ronald Hartfeld, David Casia, Dustin Markham. Jason Russo, Paul Pellizier, John Pansula, Jay Dargett, Ivan Garcia in 10th position. James Brown, 5 laps down. Joel Guy, 4 laps down in pit row. Going to talk to Joel Guy. How about it, Joel? You got a copy?
I got a copy on you, Scott.
Well, how you doing, Joel? Are you dead in the water, or are you just getting yourself a cup of coffee?
No, I'm dead in the water. I got about 30 minutes to repair.
All right, we'll copy that. Do you like, would you join me up here in the booth?
Yeah, I'll join you in the booth.
All right, now you have been down there on that track, and I tell you what, we got to get a leash on that gosh darn wall, because that wall, it just keeps jumping out at these cars. What do you think?
Yeah, it keeps jumping out, and the bad thing is, it seems like if you barely touch it, it slams you into the inside wall as well. So I don't know if it's the modeling of the sim that causes that, or if it's just the nature of this track.
We are back to green flag racing. Now, Joel, you were out here on Monday and Tuesday, and I was not, as we watched the number 88 pressuring on the number 15 of Ronald Hartfeld. Talk to us about Monday and Tuesday in comparison to tonight. You had told me last night to expect about 15 cautions. Well, we got 3 of them in.
Well, Monday night we had a total of 6, and it was just a horrible night. I mean, pacing around this track is slow as can be. We took a race that we should have finished in hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes, and it took us over almost 2.5 hours to finish it.
Well, we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and we are at the halfway point. So at this calculation, we're going to be looking at 240.
Yeah. That's you know, it's tough. This track's tough. It's but that's why I'm hoping we don't get no more cautions, because if you don't get no more cautions, you should finish quicker than 2 hours and 40 minutes, because you're averaging around 170, 175, 80 around this track. So, you know, if you figure that into 125 laps, it shouldn't take 2 hours and 40 minutes to do 125 laps.
Well, we are at 60 to go, so underneath green flag racing, this race should be over roughly in 57 minutes, which would be a good deal because only set the broadcast up for another 77 minutes. 3 wide action with 0-1, the number 14, David Casey, number 31. Boys are heating up out here at Indianapolis. Number 31 coming around the 0-1 up onto the number 20 of the Toyota. Jason Russo, I want to talk about Jason Russo. You were down there on the radio channel with Jason Russo. He just did, on this last caution, get a brand new car, but he had been riding around here all night with a, whoa, David Casey, a hard hit. But Jason Russo, wow, that took the front end off of David Casey. And we have got John Pansula going for a ride. That'll be a caution, Joel. I'm going to let you catch up with that on John Pansula as I back it up. Remind me to get back to Jason Russo, but here we are looking at John Pansula, and that ass end. It spun like a fat lady on ice skates as Jay Dargett takes a hit off of the 0-1. I'm going to put that in the cockpit of Jay Dargett. Because I tell you what, I was not real sure there was really anywhere that Jay Dargett could have gone as John Pansula out of control. Wow, take it over, Joel. That put me out of breath.
Yeah, it's tough whenever you get a car that runs up into the back of you and makes you spin. But that's what it looked like. I mean, just Jay got into the back of the 01, or Dave Casey got into the back of the 01 to do that, and that's what caused it.
Wow, tough break. All right, that's caution number 4 of the 12 you had predicted. We are at 58 to go, lap 67 of 125. Now, we were talking about Jason Russo before that caution come out. Jason Russo had been riding around here most of the night with a pretty well screwed up front end. You were on radio comms with Jason. What was that all about? Was he just hanging on to that last reset?
Hanging on to the reset, and also trying to stay on the lead lap and not lose no more positions than he had to. This track, I had to take my reset to start with, and I won't out but just a little while before I got pushed into the wall by a car coming into my inside, and I moved up to allow him to because I was a lap down. And when I moved up, I lost grip and went right into the wall and tore up my new car. So you don't replace the car as soon as you get a little bit of damage. You run with it as long as you can.
Good advice right there coming from Joel Guy. Ladies and gentlemen, lap 68 of 125 laps out here. Now, Joel, I got a confession. When I set up tonight's race, I wanted a longer race. You know, I really want to get these guys into the long haul frame of mind, because we have got a super long race coming up in January, 188 laps. That will be the equivalent of the Daytona 500. We have got to get these guys into long haul mentality. Talk to us about that long haul mentality they've got to get into.
Well, they got to get into the long haul mentality, and long haul mentality is you race the racetrack. You don't race the drivers around you in the first part of the race. You just try to race the track and stay in contention, but you don't fight tooth and nail to get positions, because you're gonna have to pit on a long haul race. You're gonna have to pit. And if pits are done under green flag, you're going to change positions just by doing that, by pit strategy. So that's the mentality you got to get into.
Green flag pit stops, using your tires, using your smarts. You got to know how to pit. Now, this access road, that's not something we're used to seeing. Tell us about the access road.
Well, the access road, we don't have to use the one coming into the pits, but going out, we're required to use the access road. So you can't stand on it and go up through the gears and get up to full speed as soon as you come off a pit road, because you've got about almost a 90-degree turn up there at the end of that short straightaway into turn 2. You've got almost a 90-degree turn where you've got to get back on the access road and come back out onto the track on the back stretch. And that's where you can start gaining your speed. Once you straighten up on that access road, straight line, then you can floor it and start gaining speed.
Alrighty, copy that. Good information. I do want to get an interview in here with Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier running with Kicking Asphalt. Hey, Paul, have you got a copy?
I do, Scott. How are you?
I'm good. All right, I got 2 things to talk to you about. 1, I got a secret, and 2, I got a surprise. What do you want to hear first?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Let's go with the secret.
All right, the secret is, sir, you're in 4th place in Kicking Ass, indeed.
Yes, sir.
Now, the surprise, when you got in here tonight, guess what? Open set. You can get down there and you can tamper with the wings. You can tamper with the tire pressure. How is that working out for the guys tonight?
It was no issue because all of us had about the same amount of time to do it. So all things are equal.
Now, a lot of these guys are very dependent upon you, sir, because you actually know how to set up a car. Now, we've got this basic iRacing fixed set that iRacing gives us all, and we can use that, and everybody is on the same level playing field. Or when we open up the set, if you have a very knowledgeable database about camber, you can set up your own. Talk to us about, very briefly, about what it takes to set up a car to make you in tune with it.
Absolutely, yeah. A couple adjustments to the cross weight and cambers, and a little more tape, and this car picked up a lot of speed.
So I can actually ask you, sir, do you think you've got a winning vehicle? Because I'm pretty sure you didn't share your secrets with everybody.
No, I didn't. But the guys in front of me are about as fast as I am. About 5 of them. We'll see. You know, there's still, I think, 2 pits that we have to make, so it's going to be who can get in and out, provided we go caution-free from here.
Well, and it's also looking like it's going to be a bit of an endurance race, because 125 laps, well, I'm second-guessing them extra 25 laps, to tell you what. Going to be a long endurance. All right, good luck to you, Paul Pellizier.
Thank you, Scott, and you have a great night.
All right, so, Joel, as I mentioned, you know, I really want to get these guys in the long haul. Jason Russo, an excellent long-haul driver right now, up there in the 3rd position. Lap 70 of 125, 55 to go. 4 cautions. Do you think the cautions are done?
Yeah, there's quite a few drivers that's dropped out of this race because they just used up their equipment. Same way with me. I just used up my equipment too soon. Not that I was trying to use it up. I just missed my mark a little bit, And that's another thing. If you miss your mark on this track by 2 feet, it'll put you in the wall if you're not careful.
All right, now I tell you what, we're going to go in-car camera here with Mark Jackson, and I want you to tell our fans, our race fans, as we are in-car camera with Mark Jackson, what do you mean by marks?
Marks are the. It's not really marks. It's just it's the line that you take into the corners and come off the corners at. There's not really any marks there. It's just you pick out a spot on the wall or a spot on a tree or whatever's around the track, and that's your turn-in point. That's where you lift off the gas to turn into the corner to get you to be on the line that you want to get in on. And if you miss that by about 2 feet here at this track, you've got your hands full to try to keep from getting in the wall.
And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, how important that is. A couple of weeks ago, Joel, you remember, we were running Charlotte, and Gary Whitmer Jr., 5 hours he practiced during the day for that Charlotte race. And he pulled down a very solid 5th place position. How much time do you think drivers put in on these tracks per week?
It depends on the driver. Some drivers have got a knack for driving a line without having to put in a lot of practice time. Some drivers, to get a rhythm going and know their marks, they might have to put in, like Gary did, 5 hours. Practicing. But that's just it's driver ability that decides how much time you're going to drive.
Mark Jackson trying to get up onto the rear end of Jason Russo, battling it out for 2nd and 3rd. Jason Russo protecting that line, but that front door is open. That left side exposed on the number 14. Mark Jackson climbing up the rear end, down low, plenty of room to get her done. Jason left that door open, and there goes Mark Jackson, and here comes the 31 of Paul Pellizier. Joel, how important are tires out here at Indy?
Tires are very important in Indy. When tires start wearing out, you start sliding around. That means you have to back your corners up. You can't drive in as deep to get through the corners because you got to be off the gas longer for it to turn in. Coming off, you got to feather it coming off, because if you get down on it, it can kick the tail end out and throw the tail end into the outside wall.
Big shout out there to Lee Ryerson on that KMA TV chat as Jason Russo goes up and gives a little bit of an air kiss on that wall. He didn't touch it, but I tell you what, there was enough spit transferred between him and that. What's that saying you got, tighter than a hair in a biscuit?
That's right. That was tighter than a hair in a biscuit. Or you couldn't slide a piece of paper between his car and the paint job.
There you go. There you go. And I tell you what, those right sides of these Cup cars tonight, they are taking an ass-kicking. That wall's taking an ass-kicking. But, you know, these drivers really, I don't think, are doing a bad job. We've still got looking like 9 drivers out there on the lead lap, but Everett Lane leading out at 32 laps. Mark Jackson leading out at 38. Dustin Markham out for the night, but he has led 5, but unfortunately Dustin Markham dead in the water tonight on lap 76.
Yeah, Dustin, just like I did, he just missed his mark and got involved in it, and that put him out for the rest of the night.
Now, Joel, next week, let's talk about next week. I want to take the boys on a good ride. I mean, you know, we're coming off of Charlotte, which was not a bad race at all. We're gearing up for that Sanadega that we're going to hold off at Auto Club. We got to get these boys in tune out to these bigger intermediate speedways, which is why we're running Indianapolis. We're going to have Auto Club in the Sanadega. So where else would we get some practice in next week? We're going to run Homestead. What are you thinking about Homestead? Good racing out there.
Homestead's good racing. It's a unusual track the way it's laid out. You got to use the access road coming into pit road, so that makes it a lot more difficult.
But it's wide.
It's wide. It's super wide, but it's not banked much, so it's flat. So if you go into corners 3 wide, you're pushing things because the cars aren't going to stick like they will on a bank. It's like this track here. You try to, it's not banked that much. It's almost flat, so there's no grip in the corners so far as centrifugal force grip of the car being pushed down on the track from going into the corner and the banking.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with KMA Racing, what we do with KMA Racing, we are running 1 track a week. We run the Xfinity class on Monday. We run the trucks on Tuesday. We run the big boy toys, the cup cars, out here on Friday. Have you got a favorite car? We are out here, Joel, for those unfamiliar with what we're doing. I said that to you on secret, so the fans heard us, but I'm not sure you did. But nonetheless, the Xfinity's on Monday, the truck's on Tuesday, and we have got the big boy toys out here on Friday. Have you got a favorite vehicle that you like? What is your favorite night of the week out here with KMA Racing?
Scott, depends on the track.
Well, okay, if we're doing a super speedway, if we're doing a speedway.
If we're doing super speedways, I like the Xfinity cars more than I do the trucks, more than I do the cup cars. The cup
that would be on Monday.
Draft well. The draft package that you have with the cup cars, you can't suck up to the back of the other car and actually push it. So you can't what we call bump draft. The trucks you can, and the Xfinity cars you can. The Xfinity cars are have a little bit more speed to them, and require driving more than the trucks do. The trucks are pretty stable.
Now, what if we move it way down to the opposite end of the spectrum? And can you say the M word? That long M word? Do you know what I'm talking about, Joel?
Oh yeah, paperclip, Martinsville.
Oh man, that sends me shivers. 14 cautions last time we were there. What is your favorite vehicle for heading out there to the paperclip?
Well, the one car that we never run out there that I would love to run sometime is a regular late model race car.
Late models.
I was a car chief on a late model team, and we ran Martinsville for 2 races a year that were big time shows for the late model series. And I love that car on that track and that track because it's fast, but it's not as fast as the others, and it grips better.
Now, Lee Ryerson out there on that KMA TV chat, he's talking about Friday night being his favorite, and talking to us about these big cup cars and how they actually just overall generally handle. You had said that they basically suck on the speedways because you can't pass on the outside. What is that all about?
Well, it's the draft package that you get with them. NASCAR's got the draft package fixed up so that the car won't suck up to the back end, to the back bumper of the other car. And if you can't get on somebody's bumper and push at Talladega or Daytona on the outside line, you're not going to pass the inside line because they're going a shorter distance around the track already than you are in the outside line. So you have to have something that allows you to make up the advantage they have of going a shorter distance around the corners. And that advantage was being able to push the car in front of you, completely get on their bumper and physically push them.
Jason Russo with a big run around the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson with a big run on the inside. Now, it is all about the lane out here at Indy, what is the preferred lane? Because I'm seeing a lot of drivers running that qualifying line.
Well, the primary lane is to go in the corner low, drift out next to the wall, and come off the corner up close to the wall, drive down beside the wall, all the way to the to the next corner, and then dive in on it, and then out to the wall and down the back stretch right next to the wall, and then dive in when you get just about to the turn to the inside edge of the track. And what you're trying to do is arc the corner to almost make it straight going around the corner.
Now, as we do gear up for our Santa race, we're going to be running at Auto Club. Now, we usually, I mean, it is named Santa because we have always held it at Talladega. But, you know, the super speedways, wow, you're talking a lot of ego. You're talking a lot of testosterone. I was talking to Alan Larson earlier about Cora, and, you know, he made a valid point. Anybody can win at a super speedway. Now, I'm not saying there's not skill involved, but oftentimes the super speedway, Talladega or Daytona, it is indeed a crapshoot. Unlike tonight, where Everett Lane and Mark Jackson, they've led 38 and 41 laps. You will not see somebody leading 41 laps at Talladega. You are just not going to see that. So what are your thoughts? Talk to us about Auto Club and what we can expect at Auto Club.
I think we can expect about the same thing we're having here, is where a driver gets in clean air and breaks away.
Caution is out. Now, Joel, I'm not seeing anything happening out here on the track. Must have been a single car spin out. We'll see if you can locate anything, but I'm not quite sure what brought out that caution. I'm seeing all cars moving.
Yeah, I haven't found anything yet, but I'm looking.
All right, copy that. Now, oftentimes what happens, one driver will maybe do a spin out. He'll duck down there into pit row, and then we can't catch it. But I'm showing Jason Russo possibly in trouble. No, he's up there in third position. So I tell you what. All right, now let's talk about fuel mileage. We're on lap 85 of 125. I'm not sure exactly of the fuel mileage. You know, these drivers are sitting on a 75% fuel load. They've got 40 to go. I'm guessing if they pit now, they'll be good to go. What do you think?
No.
No. Well, you were down there. Talk to us about it.
They can make about 35 laps here on fuel, so approximately.
So they're going to be about 5 laps shy.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to, lap 80 would be where I would come in to top off and be able to finish the race.
Looking at Paul Pellizier, currently in third place, heading off into pit row. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while we are under caution, well, you know that Pi 5 is not our only sponsor. I'm going to get a couple of commercial breaks in with our other sponsors, and we'll be right back with you in about 60 seconds. And we are back, folks. Big shout out there to Richie B. and Jason Russo, our Thursday and our Tuesday night sponsor. Now, we know that Monday and Tuesday and Friday, Joel, they're all wrapped up together, same track. Talk to us a little bit about what we do on Thursday, Daytona every week, 2011. Tell us all about it.
Well, on Thursdays we have a open room where we allow anybody to come in and race with us, and that's to kind of as a audition for the drivers to see if we want to ask them to join our league as good drivers. We're always looking to add people to the league because you always want to have a large field when you broadcast races. So the more we have in the league, the more chance of having a full field every time we broadcast a race.
All righty, copy that. Check us out on Thursdays, brought to you by Richie B's Pizza. All right, a couple of interviews here. We're talking to Ronald Hartfeld. Now, Ronald Hartfeld tonight, he is sitting in position 4 at the moment. Started out in 10th, 6 positions up. Ronald, have you got a copy?
Yes, Scott. How's it going?
Good. How's it going for you, sir? I'm not the man of the hour. You are. Tell me all about it.
Well, we have a good short run car set up here, Scott, but after a few laps it really falls off. But I'm hoping to keep her clean. It's only about a 10th place car, but we'll see what we can get out of it.
I think you're selling yourself short there, sir. 10th place car, my ass. You're up there in 4th place. 38 to go. Have you got a strategy? Are you good on fuel?
The fuel mileage isn't too bad. We'll see.
Now, are you clean? Have you got your original vehicle?
About 3 or 4 laps in that first caution, whatever it was, 8, I got a couple cars got into each other ahead of me, and I got into the back of them. But ever since that, we've kept her clean.
Alrighty, copy that. So you're up here in 3rd place, 37 to go. A song comes to mind. Running with the devil, sir. You got to run like hell.
I'm going to do my best, Scott.
Now, is Indy one of your better tracks? Tell us about your racing experience and where you like to run.
Yeah, Indy's one of my more favorite tracks, and I like these cup cars.
Now, a lot of guys are scared of these cup cars because they're so powerful, but you're obviously doing good.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to give a shout out to everything you guys do, put on these races. It's really appreciated.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Joel, take it away for a minute.
Okay, I did find what happened on that caution. John Pizzula got loose and tried and almost saved it. It got run into the back of by the 22, I believe it was. But you know, it was just one of those racing deals where it happened.
Racing deal indeed. It does happen. Underneath our 5th caution of the night. Now we're going to take a quick look at our racing summary. Everett Lane is our leader. Laps completed is 85 of 125. 6 cautions, 5 cautions, 6 lead changes, totaling out 20 laps. Pace car is in. Take it away, Joel.
Pace car's in. They're back in the gas. Headed for the turn 1 and 2. The Everett Lane's got the lead and going to the upper lanes to make his turn in. 15's down on the inside. 14's going by 15, making it to the next run.
Tell you what, Joel got excited, lost my breath a little bit. I am right back in it as the number 31 of Paul Pellizier comes around inside door of the number 15. 15 belonging to Ronald Hartfeld, battling it out for 3rd and 4th. Paul Pellizier, Ronald Hartfeld, side by side. Paul with run on Ronald. Now, when we talked to Ronald, he said that he had a short run car. Well, out of 125 laps, 36 to go, Is that a short run or is that a long run?
That's a long run. That's a fuel run. When he says a short run, he means not a full fuel load.
Well, I tell you what, it is time. 35 laps to go. All right, race fans, Joel, I want to know your pick for the night. Taking a look at our quick running order, we have got Everett Lane, Jason Russo, Paul Pellizier, Ronald Hartfield, Mark Jackson, John Payne, Sula, Ivan Garcia, Jay Dargett, James Brown, 3 laps down. We'll stop right there. Joel, have you got a pick for tonight?
If we don't have any more cautions, if this thing goes green all the way, I think Everett Lane's going to bring it home.
Well, there is no if. There is no if. No. You can't have multiple choice. Who do you think is going to win this race, brother?
I'm going to call Everett Lane.
You are going to call Everett Lane. All right, you know what? I'm going to go out on a whim here, and I'm going to call Paul Pellizier. I don't think these cautions are over.
They might not be.
Big
And that's why I said if we went green flag that Everett Lane's in the catbird seat because he's out in clean air and he's making more time than the other drivers. Everybody else has got somebody around them, so therefore they have to drive according to the person around them and don't run over the top of them. Clean air means everything in a intermediate or a short track race.
Big shout out there to Lee Ryerson Jr. Just heard my phone go off and checked my messages. We're not going to say what that message was, but I want to give Lee Ryerson a big shout out for making me chuckle. Now I can check my phone because I'm not actually racing. Lee Ryerson sent me a little funny, ha ha ha. But Joel, on a serious note, here at KMA, big supporters of PAD, big supporters of Cora and Max Mount. We've got our upcoming PAD race coming up on January 7th. We have not talked about PAD yet. We've talked about Cora. We've talked about Max Mount. Joel, can you tell us all about PAD? Because especially at this time of year, traffic is backed up. Traffic is bumper to bumper. You're out there on the road, Joel. Wife just remembered at home. My goodness, you got to pick up a gift from Sally. She wants to give you a call. Your phone's on the seat beside you. You pick up the phone. They slam on the brakes. You rear end them. Tell me all about it.
People Against Distracted Driving, PADD. It's not just slamming on brakes and running into the back of somebody because you picked up a phone. It's the fact that you could take somebody's life doing that. And that's what PAD is about. Nikki Kalini got her life taken from her because the driver wanted to check a text message in the car that she was in. And the driver came out of it okay. Nikki was the one that took the brunt of the accident. So, don't text and drive. Don't pick up your phone and dial while you're driving. If you don't have them on speed dial or voice dial, wait until you get stopped to make a phone call. Don't do it while you're driving. And same goes with messing with your radio. Don't be fiddling with radios or tape decks or anything else in the car while you're driving. It's just like we drive on these tracks. We have to concentrate the whole time we're behind the wheel because things happen fast, and it does the same thing on the highway, just not quite as fast as it does on the speedway.
Now, I tell you what, it's funny that you mentioned the radio because my first accident that I had, and I've been involved in 3 in 40, well, not that old, 36 years of driving. The first one was my fault, my only one. And what was I doing? Slick roads. And right now we're in the cockpit of Mark Jackson. So this was me. Paul Pellizier was my lady friend, and I'm fiddling with my radio. Had to change the channel because I didn't like the song. Wet roads. Looked up. taillights, crash, bang, boom, right into her rear end, and not in a good way. And I tell you what, there it was. My car's totaled. Her dad's all pissed off. And did I get to listen to my song I wanted to listen to? No, sir, because my front end was crashed up, batteries busted up. In the blink of an eye, ladies and gentlemen, it can all change.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, that blink of an eye that you were messing with your radio probably costed you for the next 3 years high insurance rates.
Oh,
So
unbelievable.
It's expensive to do that stuff.
You know, so ladies and gentlemen, the point is if you really think about it, you are, you know, unless you're a long haul driver like Alan Larson, and he's got that handheld device put out there by Maxmount, you are normally only in your car for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. So I leave the house, I'm running to the store, and Kmart is 12 minutes away. 6 minutes down the road, I hear my phone go off. My God, can you not wait 6 more minutes? You know, there's nothing. Even if somebody fell out of the sky, that 6 minutes is not worth your life or somebody else's life. PAD, ladies and gentlemen, People Against Distracted Driving, very near and dear to my heart.
Pat is very near and dear to our hearts here at KMA, and I can relate to what you're talking about, Scott. Man, I'm sitting at a railroad track crossing with the arms down, lights flashing, and a Mercedes plows into the back of my pickup truck because the guy was on his phone.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Now, my daughter, I've got a 27-year-old daughter, and I busted her the other day. I busted her cold. I'm sitting there at the table having my coffee. I'm at home, and a phone text comes into my wife. Are you going to the party Saturday night? And I glanced over at the phone, and 3 minutes later, she walked into my front door, and first thing I said, Stephanie, now we just got a text from you 3 minutes ago. Now I know my area. You would have been in transit. And she looks at me and she goes, well, Dad, I was actually at the smoke shop, which is 2 minutes away. So, I mean, she kind of had a good comeback. But still, you know, they talk about that Bluetooth crap. I'm not a fan. I don't have Bluetooth. Maybe I don't understand it. But I tell you what, you know, distractions are distractions, period.
Yeah, they are. Well, Bluetooth, what that does for you, Scott, is you don't have to pick up your phone. I can hit a button on the steering wheel of my car because it's got a Bluetooth capability that ties to my phone, and it will answer my phone.
So your thumbs know where it's at.
My hands off the steering wheel while I'm talking.
So much.
I don't have to put my phone anywhere. It's in my pocket.
So much like with our G27 wheels, our thumbs know where those buttons are, is what you're saying.
That is correct.
Well, I guess that's okay because, you know, we talk on Whisper, we talk on Primary, we got to talk on Race Control. I've got 3 buttons on my phone, on my wheel, that I have to operate on. But still, Joel, sometimes us as admins, we've been clearing flags and we've wrecked the field. So again, ladies and gentlemen, God bless the Bluetooth, but there is only one way to safe driving. Turn off the radios, turn off the phones, turn off the Bluetooth. 2 eyes out there on that road.
Oh, absolutely. That's the only safe way to do it. I mean, anytime you take your concentration off the road, whether it be in a conversation that you're having with somebody and you're thinking about something else and your mind just concentrates on that for a second and something happens in front of you, your mind's not going to react fast enough for you to correct the situation where you don't get in the problem.
Well, you know, and it's just not distracted driving with the phones, Joel. What about these little old ladies that drive with dogs in their lap? I tell you what, if I was a cop, I'd be giving out. Does your dog have a license? So it's the rubbernecking, it's the phones, it's the dog in your lap, it's the putting on makeup, it's eating the Big Mac, all sorts of distracted driving, and at this time at Christmas, we just don't need it, folks.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of, I've seen people driving down the road reading books, reading newspaper. I've passed them doing that, and I get away from them as quick as I can.
Well, you got to. All right, back to the racing. We've got Everett Lane, Jason Russo, Paul Pellizier. Now, I believe, you got to refresh my memory. Did I call Paul Pellizier for that win?
You called Paul Pellizier for the win.
Well, he's 4.2 back, climbing up the rear end of Jason Russo. Jason Russo up onto the rear end of Everett Lane at 1.1 back. Ronald Hartfeld, 11.9 back. So with 23 laps to go, we have got about 21 minutes left. Can Everett Lane hold off Jason Russo?
I think Everett Lane can hold him off. This took Jason approximately 10 to 15 laps to make up about four tenths of a second on Everett.
Well, I tell you what, Joel. Now you were here on Monday and Tuesday, and you predicted 12 to 14 cautions tonight. God forbid. Whoa! It's Jason Russo. We're in-car camera. We spotted that one right on. Jason Russo in the pit row. Damn, I'm good, Joel. Jason Russo in the pit row, in-car camera. We're staying in-car camera. Walk us through this pit stop with Jason Russo on lap 104.
Well, Jason's going to pull in. I doubt he'll take tires with the few laps we got. He might. But it depends. Looks like
taking rights
up on the right side, so I think he's getting right side tires for sure. He'll get full load of fuel because they'll take that to make it to the end.
Took them left sides.
He got left side tires. He's down the way, and as long as he stays under pit speed, he'll make it out fine, and they'll have to come back in for stop and go.
Now this is what I like to see, Joel. I like to see the strategy, as my father-in-law calls it. He calls it strategy. It's pronounced strategy, but nonetheless. So if Jason Russo pitted, that should indicate that Everett Lane, Ronald Hartfeld, Jay Dargett, Ivan Garcia, and Mark Jackson should have to pit.
Mark Jackson's already pitted. I heard him on the scanner. He went in pit road first. So Mark pulled a good thing if the green flag stays out, because everybody else is going to have to pit, and that'll put him in first place.
Well, holy pit stops, Batman. Mark Jackson might have a win, and nobody predicted Mark Jackson.
That's correct.
Everett Lane out there on that front line. We're going to take a look at it from the eye in the sky up there in the blimp mode. We've got Everett Lane being chased down by Ronald Hartfeld. Ronald Hartfeld at 14.2 back in second place. Jay Dargett up to third. Ivan Garcia sitting in fourth. Now I want to talk about Ivan Garcia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to talk about our running order here. Everett Lane, Ronald Hartfeld, Jay Dargett, Ivan Garcia. Had you on whisper again, Joel, guys, so you didn't hear nothing I said, but our fans did. But nonetheless, Ivan Garcia, happy birthday to Ivan Garcia. On December 18th, Ivan Garcia will be turning 73. Is that correct? 73?
Yep, 73 years old.
Or as we call him, older than dirt.
Yeah, he's older than dirt.
Everett Lane out there on that front line. Really not a bad race out here tonight. You would said on Monday, 6 cautions. Caution is out. This will be our 6th
that
caution of the
caution,
night.
I believe, was caused by Everett Lane.
Now, I do see Everett Lane running. That'd be a shame. I'm trying to pick up that caution, but, you know, I am not seeing that caution.
I'm following Everett now, and I'll tell you where it's at.
Obviously, must have been a single car spin out or something, because, you know, Everett Lane's out there in that first place position, and I'm just not so sure.
It was Everett Lane. He got loose coming off of turn 2, hit the inside wall, tried to get it going, and the car turned loose with him again, and that's what brought out the caution when he had to correct stop to catch it the second time.
Right, when I tell you what, Everett Lane pulling into pit row, he's still alive. Ivan Garcia up there in 2nd position. Mark Jackson in 3rd. Jason Russo. Now, Jason Russo doing a great job. I had picked Paul Pellizier to win. Now, Paul Pellizier is in 6th. Interesting position here with 18 to go. That'll put my guy, Paul Pellizier, out there in front. Well, like I tell my little granddaughter, 8 months old this month, how about that? My guy's up there in 1st place.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if anybody pits that's on the lead lap, because tires is everything at this track. You can almost hold it wide open for a couple of laps. So new tires would definitely give you an advantage to finishing this race.
Lee Ryerson rooting on Jason Russo out there tonight. Jason Russo catching that field. Going to be quite interesting. And I do want to get in a couple interviews here. We were talking about Ivan Garcia. Now, Ivan Garcia is pretty much the man of the month because Ivan Garcia, well, frankly, you know, he's got something really special going on. How about it, Ivan?
Hey, how you doing, Scott?
Now, I hear you got a birthday coming up on, let me guess, don't tell me, December 18th?
That's correct.
Yay! Brownie point for me. All right, Ivan. And you're turning 73. I knew that. I was just hesitating. I talk to us about your night tonight, Ivan. You're out there in 4th place.
Oh, man, my night has been so great. I've been staying out of trouble, you know, staying in the back, saving my tires, saving my car, saving my last repair for this final few laps that we have left.
So have you got any predictions on who's going to win, Ivan?
Oh, could be Jason Russo or Mark Jackson or me.
Oh, I was going to say, what the hell, brother? How about I'm going to win this?
Okay, I'm going to win this. You hear?
All right.
Also, pull over.
Have you got enough fuel?
Oh, yeah, full tank, 4 new tires, my car fixed. I'm all good. I used my last repair that I had. I just finally used it.
All right, and Ivan, what are your thoughts on this week at Indy? Because I tell you what, we've ran 125 times 3. What is that? 250, 375, 375 laps, and we've totaled out at 612, 18 cautions over 375 laps. Is that good or bad?
That's real bad.
That's real bad.
Yes, this is a big track. I don't see why we have problems. I mean, real wide. You got plenty of room to pass. No problem in here. You know, you can wait till the right place to pass, and this won't happen. All discussions.
All right, good luck to you, Ivan.
But thank you, sir. And, you know, next time, we ain't going to have none. Okay?
That's right, that's right. All right, Joel, one more quick interview here. We're going to talk to Jason Russo, because I tell you what, been trying to get to Jason Russo all night. How about it, Jay? You got a copy?
I got you, Scott. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, but I tell you what, this is about 75 laps ago. We got a flashback backwards. What was up with you staying out there with that busted up front end for so long?
I only had 20 seconds of damage. We fixed it all, and it seemed to be holding its pace. So we figured we'd hold our reset to the end till we needed it.
All right, well, I tell you what, Ivan Garcia thinking that he's got something for you. I know Mark Jackson is definitely going to be a contender out here for you, but what are you thinking? How high are your hopes? First off, are you think we're done with the cautions? Second of all, do you think you got a chance of winning this tonight?
Slight possibility of winning it, but yeah, I hope we're done with the cautions. The track's changing a little bit. We made some adjustments, see what it'll do.
Now, what are your thoughts on Indy Week?
Long races.
A lot of cautions out here.
Yeah, a few too many.
Well, next week we are heading off to Homestead. Do you think it'll be a better race?
Much better, yep.
All righty, copy that. And a big shout out there to Pro Automotive. If I ever get broke down up there in Dudley, what do I do?
Give me a call and stop at Pro Automotive. Check us out online at Facebook/Pro Automotive MA.
All right, one more quick question out there for our fans. We're heading off into winter season. What is the most important thing we can do to make sure we stay safe in our autos?
Keep an eye on them fluids, get some snow tires on there, and drive safe.
Good advice from Pro Automotive. Good luck, Jay.
Thank you.
Jason Russo giving us some good advice out there for our racing. Gonna drag one of our spectators down. How about it, Anthony Poston? Have you got a copy?
How you doing?
All right. Now, you're not in the race, are you, Anthony?
I am not.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to drag you up here. We're going to bug you for a little bit for the 15 laps remaining. How about that?
That'll work for me.
All right. Now, how much experience have you got at Indy, Anthony?
I actually have very little experience. That's why I didn't jump in these cars tonight.
All right. Well, I copy that. Joel, what do you think about that?
I think he made a good move. If he's not got any experience at Indy, he definitely made a good move not to come out and try to race these Cup cars.
Now, have you got any picks out here for tonight?
Well, I'm always a favor of Ivan. I want to see Ivan win it once.
Ivan has won it once. He's a great driver. My pick is out there for Paul Pellizer sitting in fourth. And Joel, who did you pick? I think Joel may have picked Mark Jackson. Is that correct? Well, we might have lost Joel. How about it, Joel?
I didn't have a copy on Joel either.
There he is. Joel, you got a copy? Oh, we may have lost Joel. Nonetheless, Jason Russo, Mark Jackson, John Pansula, Paul Pellizer, Everett Lane, our top 5 drivers. Joel, when you get it hooked up, give us a shout out.
I'm back, Scott.
There you are. Where'd you go, brother?
I dropped my microphone.
It happens.
Yeah. My pick was Everett Lane.
All right, Everett Lane, unfortunately, is in 5th place. All right, now this isn't like Talladega, Anthony. Where do you want to be with 12 to go at Indy? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. This ain't Talladega.
Like I said, I'm not real familiar. I'm just learning tonight. I'm watching you guys run and trying to figure this out.
Well, I tell you what, Anthony. Now, you are a bit of a newcomer to KMA racing. Now, right now, I am in the announcer mode. But how long have you been in iRacing?
I've been in iRacing for a little bit over a year, but I've never really raced with a league other than running with you guys.
So what are your thoughts about KMA racing?
Oh, I love it. It's the best group that I've run. I mean, I wouldn't change anything.
All right, copy that. Sometimes we have really good nights. Sometimes we have really bad nights. But Joel, now you've been along here for about 2 years. Talk to me in the remaining 11 laps about the KMA Brotherhood.
Well, KMA Brotherhood is excellent. We all chip in to help each other. When somebody has a problem, we come to the aid. In my case, I'm a IT tech person. I spent 23 years with a major computer corporation, and so if somebody has a problem with their computer, they call me and I diagnose the problem and tell them what they need to change or what they need to replace to fix it.
Well, and I tell you what, one of our drivers last week, iRacing, it does cost money. And one of our drivers last week got into a little bit of a spot, and I called upon one of our sponsors, and one of our painters voluntarily actually chose to sponsor that driver that was in trouble. And we got that driver hooked up and fixed up and back on the road. And I tell you what, that is something that I pride myself on with KMA Racing. We take care of our own. We teach them, we learn them, we educate them, we take care of them. The sponsors take care of me, I take care of my guys. So I want to give a big shout out there, not to KMA Racing, but to the guys of KMA Racing.
Definitely, all the guys that run in KMA are top notch. We all work together, and when somebody has a problem, we all band together to help them get through that situation.
Anthony, have you got a pick for tonight's win?
I'm still going to stick with Ivan. I think he might be able to pull it out, but it looks like Mark's going to walk away with it.
Ivan Garcia back in 6th place. Everett in 5th. John Pansula in 6th. Jason Russo in 3rd. My pick is Paul Pellizier in 2nd place, 1.2 off of Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson owning it tonight, though. But I tell you what, Everett Lane has led 65 laps out there in 5th place.
Yeah, but like I said, Scott, clean air means everything. So right now, Mark Jackson's got the advantage because he's in clean air. He has nobody in front of him, nobody around him, so he can drive his line and make all the time up on the track that he can make.
No, but come on, Joel. All right, let's give Anthony an education because he said he's learning. We're talking, we are talking Indianapolis. How important is this clean air? This ain't Talladega. You can't draft out here at Indy.
No, you can't draft, but dirty air changes the way the cars handle, even on a intermediate track. You can get right up behind somebody on the intermediate track, get certain position on them, and you can make them loose as can be, where they can't drive the cars or trucks, whichever you happen to be driving. So clean air means a lot.
Mark Jackson out there on that front line. My pick, Paul Pellizier, 1.6 back. All right, we're going to go away with that driver information. We're going to get up to that comparison chart. We are looking at Paul Pellizier, 1.6 back. Jason Russo sitting at 2.8 back. Everett Lane sitting at 10.7 back. I don't think Everett Lane's going to make it home tonight on a front three podium.
No, I think Everett's got too much damage to make it to get to the win now, since he got into the wall.
Hey, you know, Joel, not to interrupt you, but I am looking at the front end of Everett Lane's vehicle. He has no hood. He has no hood. We're going to take a close-up look at that engine. He has no hood. Unbelievable. I've never seen that, Joel.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you lose your hood, they take your hood off because it's so damaged they can't fix it. They put you back out on the track, and all that does is cause a air brake on your car because there's no air going over the hood. It's going in the hood. Granted, it's cooling the motor down. You're building more horsepower, but there's so much air brake there from the air going into the engine compartment that it drags your speed down 2 to 3 mile an hour.
But I've just never seen the hood blown off of a car. Unbelievable.
I've seen the whole front end off one, and they out there running.
All right, we are back up here with our top three. We have got Paul Pellizier, 3 seconds back. Jason Russo, 2.8 back. Mark Jackson out on that front lane. Paul Pellizier giving a run for the money. John Pansula not out of it for the night. John Pansula caught up in a couple of early cautions, causing one, or so we think. But I tell you what a comeback for John Pansula. Right now in fourth place, 3 seconds back. Ladies and gentlemen, 120 of 125 in the books. 5 to go, 8 lead changes, 6 cautions, totaling 23 laps. Mark Jackson, can he get her done, Anthony?
Oh, I believe he will. Like he said, that clean air, I think, is just going to help him walk away from him.
Lee Ryerson making a comment about the air that Everett Lane is getting off of that no-hood engine. That's funny stuff right there.
Clean air is everything on this track. Jason Russo was 2.18 back on the last lap. On that one lap right there, he dropped to 3.326 back.
Paul Pellizier with a run on Jason Russo. Paul Pellizier coming around side by side with Jason Russo. Paul Pellizier will take second position. Can he hold her down? Can he hold her down? Almost three. They were almost 3 wide. Paul cannot hold her down. Jason Russo back in second place.
No, Paul tried to go in deep and make the corner, and he didn't have it, and he started to drift up, so he had to get out of it to keep from getting into Jason. So now he's got to run hard to catch back up to Jason and try it again.
3 laps to go, 122 of 125. So, Anthony, next week, are you familiar with Homestead?
I am not. Like I said, Scott, I have just started running these. I did the super speedways mostly while I was running this past year.
Oh, Homestead's a super speedway. It's a baby speedway, but it's a speedway. You'll have a lot of fun next week.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Now, Homestead, tell them a little bit about Homestead there, Joel.
Well, Homestead's a wide track. It's a almost flat track, kind of like Auto Club. But the difference is you've got access road coming into pit road, and you have to use that access road coming in, and it sneaks up on you real quick when you're trying to pit under green flag conditions. So it's going to be a experience driving at Homestead. You can go 3 wide in the corners or 4 wide on the straightaways, but this car's not going to stick very well when you go into the corner because there's no banking hardly at all.
Lap 123 of 125. My guy, Paul Pellizier, just smacked that wall, putting him to 5 seconds back. So I believe my pick of the night is out. Joel, your pick, Everett Lane, is out for the night. Mark Jackson leading 49 laps, but not able to top the 65 laps led by Everett Lane. So we're looking like Mark Jackson's got it wrapped up.
Yeah, Mark's got a 3-second lead on Jason, and Jason's not been catching him. He's been losing time. He didn't lose as much on that lap as he did the previous laps. So that leads me to believe that Mark's backing off a little bit and not pushing it as hard to make sure that he hits his marks and he don't do anything that causes him to get in the wall.
All righty, Anthony, we're going to put you up there with the group, and me and Joel are going to finish her up, but I appreciate you helping us out.
All right, thanks, Scott. It was nice talking with you guys tonight.
Final lap, ladies and gentlemen, 124 of 125 in the books. Mark Jackson with a 4.2-second lead. So we've got a battle here for second position. John Pansula, Jason Russo in second. John Pansula in third. Well, Joel, I believe this is over.
Yeah, I think it's over. We got our top 3: Mark Jackson, Jason Russo, and John Pazzula.
All righty, Joel. I'm going to drag John Pansula down. I'm going to let you talk to him.
All right.
How about it, John? This is Joel and Scott in the booth. How you doing?
John Pazzula, you got a copy on me?
Yeah, 10-4.
All right. How was your night?
That's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, I know it is. You had a kind of rough night, but you've come home in third place for the amount of trouble you had. That's extremely good.
Yeah, 10-4. I just kind of had to back up and regroup and resituate myself here and get comfortable. My arms are like Popeye after that one, though.
Well, what happened to you on that last spin where you spun out and hit the inside wall? I'm sorry, didn't hit the inside wall, but got hit by I think it was 22.
Yeah, we were just coming across the start-finish line, running real hard. I was behind a couple guys in front of me, and they were fighting for position, and they ended up having contact, and then I believe I don't know who it was, they scraped the wall and slowed down in front of me, so I went around them and actually got a pretty good run going into one. And it was actually a lot faster than I expected, and I tapped the brake and it just went around on me.
I understand that. Well, anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
I'd like to give a shout out to KMA for running these races, man. We really appreciate it. You and Scott and all the staff and everybody do a great job. Give a shout out to Cora and Alan Larson and James Brown and Pad. And I'd like to give a shout out for a good run for Mark Jackson and Jason Razoo.
Okay, well, congratulations on third place finish, and see you at Homestead on Monday night in the Xfinity cars.
10-4, I really appreciate it, man. You guys do a great job as always, and just really appreciate the good racing. You got some great guys in here. Thanks.
All righty, how about it,
John?
How about it, Jason Russo getting off in second place? What are you thinking, sir?
Great run. Good time tonight. A few too many cautions, but all in all, good race.
But I tell you what, no, you're not going to get off that easy, Jay. You had a great run out here tonight. How important was the tire wear out here tonight? Because you did a hell of a job.
Very important. Track changed. It seemed like every pit stop track changed. We had to keep making adjustments on it. That last stop, I took 2 tires. I probably should have took 4 so I could keep up with Mark, but we'll get it next time.
And how do you feel about moving into Homestead next week?
Lots of fun there. Fast track, wide track. Yeah, we usually have some good green flag runs there.
All right, I want to give a big shout out to you, Jason Russo, for taking care, keeping the lights on in our Tuesday night truck series on, obviously, Tuesday night, obviously in the trucks. Next week, we're running out at Homestead. Thank you for all you do for us, Jay.
You're welcome.
All righty, Joel, take over, Mark.
Wonder there if you were going to answer me.
Hey,
so tell us how you made your night come up to first place.
Man, oh man, what a night. I mean, we put this thing on the pole, our over-the-top Chevrolet up front. Had a battle there with Everett. Few sprinkles cautioned in there. We found ourselves mired back in the pack because the way the pit strategy worked out. But adjusted on the car all night long, made it better each stop. And that final run, put 4 tires on it, man. And this over-the-top paints and designs, KMA, Richie B's Chevrolet, took off, man. This thing was on rails tonight.
All right. You got anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
I do. I want to give a shout out first of all to my special friend, my blood brother, Scott Kulovic, John Hedrick, and you too, Mr. Joel. And want to thank Jason for running me really clean there. We had a good run that last fuel run, so want to give him a big thanks for racing me clean, and love you guys. Want to say hello to Mama Patty. I think she's upstairs watching on the YouTube. My wife Kristen and my son Andrew. Just really just incredible. We managed to pull off 2 victories here in the last 2 weeks in Indy. Used to be it wasn't a track I had good look at, but we're starting to pull it together here.
Now, Mark, you talked about giving me a big shout out, and you know, a lot of people shout out to me, but I tell you what, you know, I'm just a little guy. Without the great racers like you and Jason Russo, you know, if you guys were not here, I'd have nobody to talk about. I'd have nobody to show off. I'd have nobody to put that spotlight on. Talk to me real quick, because we know that recently there was a time I was in need, and my sponsors came up and they helped me. Now, recently we had a couple of sponsors come up and help you out. Talk to us about what the KM8 Brotherhood means to you real quick before we sign off.
Yes, sir. I mean, it is a brotherhood. We've all known each other and been doing this for several years now. And we all have our good times and our bad times in real life and our sim racing. And without help from everyone, you know, when someone goes down, other guys pitch in and give them a boost up, and that's what it's all about. Proud to be a part of it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys, and you know, it is a brotherhood. You know,
we're proud to have you, brother. Get out there and do some burnout. Show me some smoke.
Well, I just did, but I blew this sumbitch up coming back. Woo! We're just glad this is the second win this week in Indy. We finally pulled one off in the Cup car, man.
All right, give me one more Ric Flair wahoo. I can't do it. I smoke too much. Give me one more who.
Wahoo! Yeah.
There you go, Mark Jackson, bringing it home at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Good job, Mark Jackson. There you go. All right, good job, Mark Jackson. All right, Joel Guy. Got to speak up because I got the music blasting. Give us a race summary.
Well, race summary we had quite a few cautions. We had some green flag pit stops. We had some good green flag racing. Indy's not a normal track for us to run on because it's 4 separate corners. It's got 2 long straightaways and then short straightaways between the 4 separate corners. It's almost flat, so we'd have no banking to help the cars turn. So driving at Indy is nothing like anything that we normally race on.
But I tell you what, these drivers did a great job. Mark Jackson, Jason Russo, John Pansula. Now, you mentioned John Pansula got into trouble earlier, but what a trooper. You know, did a great job out here tonight, but in the end, it was all about Mark Jackson. All right, Joel, I appreciate your time up here in the booth with me. Hell of a job, and we'll catch you out there on that flip side.
All right, Scott. Catch you at the next race.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Scott Kolovic, your announcer for the evening. This is KMA TV, and we are out of here. What a time. I tell you what, 2.5 hours up in this booth. I am exhausted, but I hope you enjoyed your time. We're heading for that outro, and we'll catch you out on Monday at Homestead.